Hey, Jennifer, Rick, I consulted Kentucky's Constitution, but it's a little vague on some of the details of gubernatorial succession. So I went to the state's top election lawyer, Secretary of State Michael Adams.
What's very clear is that the Lieutenant Governor, Jacqueline Coleman, would then have the powers of the governor.
Coleman herself has addressed the issue, saying she's ready to take over if a Harris-Beshear ticket wins this fall. But Adams says the Constitution does not specify whether she would become governor or acting governor.
My interpretation is that she would be the lieutenant governor with the powers of governor. She'd be the acting governor. And that's important because if she's the acting governor, then she would not get to appoint a replacement as lieutenant governor because she'd still be the lieutenant governor.
Have you made up your mind yet?
Adams points to precedent. Former Lieutenant Governor Julian Carroll became acting governor in 1974 when then-Governor Wendell Ford was elected to the U.S. Senate. Carroll did not appoint a new lieutenant governor, but he did go on to win the governor's race in the next regular election.
I would expect this to be litigated. I would expect the lieutenant governor to want to sue to force the appointment of a successor in that office to build her party's bench. I would also expect to be sued on the other side of the aisle by Republicans that want to have a special election to replace the governor versus letting her fill out the rest of his term.
Section 152, the vacancies clause of Kentucky's Constitution, says if the unexpired term will not end at the next succeeding annual election, the office shall be filled by appointment until said election, and then said vacancy shall be filled by election for the remainder of the term. Adams says both sides could point to this clause in court, but he says as long as Coleman remains lieutenant governor, her term does not expire until 2028.
The Constitution says very clearly that those of us who were elected last year serve for a term of 4 years. So I don't think that you can have an election and curtail Jacqueline Coleman's term. That's my interpretation.
Here's some more constitutional trivia for you. If something were to happen to Lieutenant Governor as well, the next person in line for succession would be the Senate President. Currently, that's Republican Robert Stivers. Mark Vanderoff, WLKY News.